welcome to the month of love. It's Valentine's month. What do we understand by love? A lot of us have different understanding of what love is. We would say agape love, some would say other kinds of love, romantic love. What does love mean to you? The beginning or the origination of Valentine is not actually what we see Valentine to be these days. We have messed it up. Today on the reflection show, we want to understand what love is and everything and how we as young people especially can make sure that we love the right way, love the right people and do not hurt the right people. I am Martha with Spice. Let's go for a break. When we are back, we delve straight into the conversation. Do stay tuned. Welcome back to the show. I have been joined here in my studio by two amazing people. They've all been married for a very long time, and I'm hoping to tap some anointing from them after the show so that when I get married, I can stay longer. I'm here with Madam Grace Efialabi. She's been on the show before, talk about understanding relationships, and she's back to help us understand all that love is about. And Mr. Daniel Kobroko. They are all here to make sure that we as young people especially we understand what love is and we don't fall in and fall out of love. And especially I think recently I had some very good friends of mine who had to fall in love because they were not compatible by genotypes. Love. It hurts, right? Let me start with you. Thank you very much for joining me on the reflection show. Let me start with you, ladies first. What is love? When we talk about love, what is love about?
So everybody has their own view of love, but if I want to take it from the perspective of what love is, we have various type of love. So the agape love is there, or the romantic love, everything that you can talk about. And I know you want to zoom in on the totality of it. So for me, love is something deeper than just a feeling. It goes beyond just the feeling that we have. That is just a percentage of it, but it goes beyond the feelings. Love is a decision you make to want to be with the person that you want to be with.
Okay. From the man's perspective, what is love?
What is love? I've heard women talk about butterflies. I don't know if they fly in through the mouth or if they are born with them. But for me, I go out and I see a number of people. I decide, well, which of them will I be with? Am I going to be with the person's mind, with the person's body, with the person's face? So I put quite a number of things together and decide, well, I think I like this person's mind. I like the way the person looks. I like the way the person goes about. Because you don't want to wake up and then want to run out of your room because you met somebody. So looks are just as important as there's attitude and as there's the way the person makes you feel. So I'd say that it's about finding somebody you like, as in the physical looks, someone who you like the way the person thinks, and someone who you like the way the person makes you feel. Once you put those three together, you'll find someone you're in love with.
Okay, so on this episode, I want us to focus on, should I say, the romantic kind of life, is the agape love or the brother, sister, friendship love. I think it's really not a problem, actually. The problem is that kind of love that you're actually dating someone or courting someone or having to marry someone. It's where we actually have a lot of issues from. Why or how did you make the decision to get married? Let me be a bit personal.
Well, how did I make the decision to make marriage?
Did you love? I learned men don't love. Men make a decision by character to marry. It's we women that love. Even though God says that the man should love the wife and we should be submissive, but it's like women, you know, the butterflies and the things you want to. So, what is love for men, and what decision do you make to get married?
That's a tough one. How did I make the decision to get married? Like I said at the beginning, you had to balance quite a number of things.
Yeah.
First and foremost, how does the person make me feel?
Okay.
Am I a kin or am I a servant in the person's life? Number two, is this somebody who is willing to think with me? How does the person think? And personally, I had a problem with people who always said, train up, Papa Beba.
Okay.
So I wanted a woman who would take certain decisions before I arrive. Because imagine if I've had a hard day's work and I come home and I now have to come and do homework, that would be difficult. So I needed someone who, one, was willing to think and shared my values.
Keyword
So
values.
that is where the decision was made. That I found somebody who shared my values, who was intellectually where I wanted her to be, and who made me feel like a king.
Yeah. Feel like a king. Let me come from the woman's perspective. It mostly is age. When you are, especially after 25, everybody's asking you, when are you getting married? How did you make that decision to get married? Was it because you were like, you have to marry, you're of age? If not, Charlie, how did you make that decision to get married?
So for me, if you, it wasn't about age, because it was about age. By the time I was looking forward to have married, I was breaking up from a relationship. My sister, junior sister, was getting married.
Wow.
So it was about age, not really about age. But I think more often, personally, I followed, like he said, you are looking at someone. Does the person align, or do you align to the person? Maybe because I'm the woman, do I align to the person? Do we share the same values? Do we bond? Are we friends? For me, the friendship thing is so important, because I ask that if you take everything away, can the friendship still hold? Is it solid? So that is where the perspective I came from. I'm marrying a friend. I didn't necessarily rush it. I wasn't saying, oh, my younger sister is married and the clock is ticking. And no, thankfully I had a supportive family. Nobody was in my space asking and when and how. No, we're ready.
Okay.
When I was ready to marry, I was 29. And I said, this is it. Am I ready? We are ready to go.
Okay.
No, you know, those kind of. So I think sometimes also comes from, again, society. If you have a supportive family who are not so much, you know, pushing you, then it gives you time and space. It also doesn't mean that if you have someone, you're wasting the time. No. But ideally, you shouldn't rush into it.
Okay. And my next question, let me come to you on that. We see a lot of changes from your generation in our generation right now. A lot of divorce cases. A lot of people are not being able to even stay longer in relationships. Something small and go, someone else will come. And people actually get married and actually face those kind of cycle of issues they could have solved while they were dating. How can we, young people who say we are in love, manage differences while in love?
I'll backtrack a bit. This generation is a very fast generation. You know, you have fast food, you have fast internet, video on the go. When I was growing up, to watch a movie, you had to go find a cassette, find a video player to play it. Today, you pick your phone and
you're there.
The videos come to you. You don't even have to go seek them. So a lot of things are very, very fast. I'm in Tamale. My question to you will be, if I want to go to Accra, can I go on a bicycle?
No.
I can't. Motorbike?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yellow.
Yellow.
10 days on the road.
10 days on the road. So the reason we are having a lot of challenges is because people are picking the wrong vehicle.
How?
You need to decide, what am I hoping to get in this marriage? What are the important things for me? Because if it's just the person's face, what happens when the person gets an accident?
Yeah.
If it is the person's money, what if the person loses his job or her job?
Or they want a slim woman.
Yeah. So you want a very slim woman, okay. By the time she has 3 babies. So the point is that you have to look beyond. That's why I say, what are your values? What are you looking for? You're going for a job. You are finding out, how much am I going to be paid? Where is it? How do I go there? We need to do the same thing when it comes to love. We need to evaluate all the way so that you are sure that the person I'm going to be with is going to go the long haul with me, because it is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And unless you understand it that way, you're going to be thinking about the butterflies, or they may die.
Not that they may, they do.
They do. Or they will not be there always.
Really? Are there times you don't feel that so attracted to your partner?
Let me ask a very simple question. Do you have siblings?
Yes.
You love them to bits, right?
Yeah.
Do they annoy you?
Plenty.
Same mother,
the
same
last
father, same house, same training.
Everything.
You have differences. Why do you think that me, born from a different home, with different values, grown up differently, will be with you and would always be lovey-dovey? Oh, we are going to step on each other's toes. We're going to be bumping each other. I would want the toothpaste squeezed from underneath. Someone will want it
From the middle.
from the middle. And you may have children who will come and they'll use their teeth to tear it. So there will be differences. But how do we manage these differences? That's where values and intellect, how we
And that's where the
handle
actual
issues.
love is actually proven.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's where we are.
So from your perspective.
So again, to add on to what he said, more often than not, when we are going in, our expectations are in the
So high.
skies and the actual is somewhere there. We don't discuss the important issues of life. So I remember when we were dating. No names. When we were dating.
I'm not mentioning any names. When she was dating her husband.
Yes, obviously. We discussed things like divorce. If we didn't have children, or if the children didn't come at the time we wanted.
Yeah.
And I
Important
remember in one of the, it's not like we make time to discuss. Sometimes that,
Just
some
comes,
things
yeah.
drag. So I think in one of such discussions, a friend or two, go around and they're like, you haven't married, you are discussing divorce, then don't marry. And we are saying, no, you didn't get the discussion. We are saying that it is life. Life happens. Ideally, we are going in for the long haul. We've been friends for long. We know each other. But we don't know what can happen in there that could
Yeah.
separate us, especially because we have had, like you're saying, so many examples of divorces surrounding you.
Yeah.
Some of the issues, when you really listen to, you feel like, oh, they could have resolved
Resolve
it.
this, yeah.
And some too are, there's one particular divorce that really got to me. And so again, it's not again a generational thing. But for me, it is what goes on in the marriage and everybody's level of what they can take and how long they can
Yeah.
take it and tolerate it. So this is someone I know, a couple. So far as we were young growing up, they were one of our best couples because the man is so cool. When he closes work, you see him somewhere, I don't know, seated somewhere. He'll take his drink, go home. The wife is aware he's there, everything cool. Nothing. Like, you hardly even hear them quarrel.
Yeah.
Then out of the blue, I go to visit and I'm asking, oh, where is our husband? Oh, he's no more here. Asking, Oh, he decided to divorce. Hello, how? What happened? And the kind of things that were coming up, when I sat down in hindsight, that was the truth. When we when we had the discussions and we go in,
Yeah.
your partner is your friend, that's why it's your partner.
Yeah.
The third person factor. So the same thing applies even when we're dating. How we handle the third parties, how we handle all those things that society can throw at us
Yeah.
is how we will carry on into the marriage.
So I just want to pick something just from what she said. Third parties in love, in relationships, either dating or marriage. How do we handle that? Is it a factor to make or unmake? Because I sometimes third parties can actually make your marriage, just like you said. Maybe if they had good counselors or even good friends who could pray with them, advise them, and say you can do this. But you have maybe the husband having his friends who are like, oh, this thing, leave him, don't let a woman control you. And the woman who has friends who are like, show him pepper, don't let him control you, and those kind of things. How can we take advantage of third parties positively or negatively?
First and foremost, I'm going to make a very controversial statement. Marriage is a union of equals.
Marriage is a union of equals.
Equal.
No head.
Now, having said that there's no head,
Okay.
and I said it is a union
Of equals.
of equals.
Okay. Go deeper.
The man may be the head, the woman the neck. Please show me which head can turn without a neck. We have roles we play. There are roles where the man must lead. There are roles where the woman must lead. But ultimately, it is a union of equals.
Okay.
A lot of women are kin. I am saying king, not queen. During courtship. It is all about what she wants. I want to make her happy. I want to do this. I want to do that. And it's all about the woman. And some women take advantage of that and milk it. They milk that season. So the man gets married and says, well, it is my turn to be king.
Wow.
So he then also milks it. But if it is a union of equals, during courtship, it's about what we want. And so we learn to compromise. You say, I want us to eat Chinese today. I say, no, I'm interested in TZ. If we can't agree that I will get to eat TZ or we'll get to eat Chinese, then let's go to a restaurant where they serve both Chinese and TZ. So I get to get what I want and you get what you want. We learn to compromise.
Yeah.
In the African context, no two people get married. It is two families that get married.
Okay.
It is the only reason why my brother cannot marry from my wife's family. If it was just me marrying my wife, then her brother should be able to marry my sister.
But some do that. Some still do that.
Yes, that's the cultural setting. But even if it's just those two people who are married, wherever other family members meet, they consider themselves married people or they consider themselves family.
Yeah.
Because the two families come together.
Yeah.
In the same way as young people, we are families. They may not be blood brothers, blood sisters.
Yeah.
They may be friends. They may be associates. They may be schoolmates. They may be work colleagues. And so we get families, your circles and his circles. His circles and her circles. You must be seen as a partner in these circles. She must be seen as a partner in those circles. If I show up, everybody who knows me in my wife's circles should know that is my wife's husband coming, my wife's fiancé coming. that way they protect my interest. But we have a case where the woman has her circles.
Yeah.
The man is even not known. Nobody sees. The man has his circles. The woman is not known there. So if your man is going out with 4 people, how would you know?
A big thing that a lot of us do in this generation. I have more questions on that, but I want us to go for a break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We're still here trying to understand what love is and how we can love well. And most importantly, I keep saying this for young people in my generation, we need to go back to the days whereby we stop having these issues that will end up in divorce. I believe that there are still godly marriages. I believe that I'm going to have a beautiful and a godly marriage. I have said it to myself that whatever I have to do to have a godly marriage, I will do that. I am working on it physically. I'm praying into it spiritually, and I know that God is going to answer my prayer. And I think that is the biggest mistake we make. Sometimes when you say some of these things, people feel that, oh, you are too desperate, you want to say that. But I think that people don't actually invest time in praying into their marriage or even working in their marriage. But before we go into that, I want us to come to where you talked about transparency, where the third parties in relationships, at what point should we have third parties in and we should have third parties out?
So like I said, we are social beings. We all have our circles. And it's important that we are transparent enough, both to the 2 people in the marriage and whoever the third party is, whether it's a parent, it's a friend, it's a circle of friends, it's colleagues,
Counselors.
Because the Bible actually says that Adam and Eve were together, they were naked and not afraid. What does it mean to be naked? It actually means that you are taken for who you are, and you actually are who you are. So, I don't believe in this thing we call a personal life. Your life is your life. You are A here, you are A there, you are A at the other place. So, as you go through life and you're with somebody, you must be naked with that person. So that person knows you for who you are. Knows your finances, knows your likes, your dislikes, your friends, your values, and everything. And everybody else must know what your values are, who your friends are, must know who is in your life. Because it is only when I am transparent that my friends can check me and say, oh, but I saw you with Abiba. How come today you are with Maimuna? But if I'm unable to show my friends who the woman in my life is, then today I can show up with Maimuna. The next day it can be Alimatu. The following day it can be Ifua. But we need to hold each other accountable. I must be accountable to you. Be willing to answer all the awkward questions. I saw you. I was told that you were with that lady. Oh, yeah.
Who is she?
She's a work colleague. We had to go and do this, and that is why.
But when you are like, why do you ask?
Why do you ask?
Then, even if she's nothing to you, the natural woman instincts will feel like, no, there is something wrong.
Even the man. It's same with the man too, because once you give the person the chance to think that there's something wrong, or there's something you are hiding, the person wants to find out what it is.
From the female perspective, what does transparency mean to us? Do we want to know sometimes are we also doing it too much? We want to know everything.
Everything is the question. where everything is what? They're supposed to be transparent with each
Yeah.
other, know who we are. And so, like he was saying, if the wife should ask, I saw you with this lady, that you shouldn't feel guilty. The answer should just, oh, it is so and so. But that is where we have the issues, because we are not probably transparent enough. So I remember way back then when I moved up north, my husband was still in Accra. Someone can call and say, oh, I saw your husband here with so and so. Oh, okay. Was it this time? Especially, I know the area. If you mentioned it,
Yeah.
or was it this time? I can describe the person
Wow.
to you. Is that okay? Oh yes, they were going to do this, and I end the conversation there.
And so with your husband, he's everywhere.
It's everywhere, so I can't be
Following up.
have the time and taking calls, and because no, I don't have time for that. But again, beyond the transparency, what would let the transparency stand and have a strong hold? Trust.
Trust.
If we're transparent enough, we trust ourselves. And for me, trust is the key element. It's the only way the relationship will work. So again, to the question, as women, what are we looking for? You want to know everything. More often than not, we are not trusting enough. That is one. Secondly, we are all humans. People make mistakes. We, the women especially, are fond of that. When the man has made one mistake somewhere, because some Mimuna was trying to seduce him hardly, and then maybe he fell, then it means that every day, if it is Ajua who calls,
or his phone just ring now,
or the phone ring, I want calling. So those are some of the things that, as women, want to know everything, yes, but what can you take and what can you not take?
Yeah.
Me, I can pick my husband's phone. I'm not looking out for anything in particular.
Yeah.
He's somebody who likes taking pictures. So me, when I'm looking at pictures, I can go into a particular chat and read some of the messages there and laugh. Not because I'm looking out for anything. So the question is, what do you seek? If you see, and it's normal. If you're looking for faults, if you are fault finding, you will find fault. But if you're doing it because that's just you and you have the trust.
And if you don't say anything, you'll be like, why did you delete all the other chats? What I'm looking for, I've not seen it in your phone. Now to come to my personal favorite question. Compromise in a relationship. How do we compromise? When do we compromise? And why? How, when, and why? The whole compromise thing, because there's always so much pressure on a woman to compromise. Some women have to even compromise on their education. They have to even compromise and have kids when they don't want to have kids at that time. They have to compromise on their career. Why should it always be us? Some will say they want 5 children. Do you know what it means to carry even one child? But it's like the men are always, and the men will blackmail the women, and they are like, oh, you let me go to school and do top up and come, I'm the man, so that why? Let's start from the male's perspective. Why do you always want us to compromise so much?
But you forgot one question.
Hey.
You said why, how, and
when.
Yeah. But the actual question is, what are you compromising for?
What are you fourth one, yeah.
What are you compromising for? Marriage, like I said at first, is a union of equals.
Yeah.
So I have who I want to be, where I want to get to, and you have who you want to be, where you want to get to. When we meet, we must have those discussions to know, okay, this is where I want to head to. This is what am I leaving so I can cleave? The Bible says that you leave to cleave. So if the two of us are coming together, what are we leaving to come and cleave to? If I want to go up and get my doctorate and I leave you as an SS, what's going to happen is that at the time when I am with my PhD and I'm meeting my colleagues who have PhDs, I will not be able to take you. And so it's imperative for you to say, no, no, no. These are our values. This is what we all want to get to. So as you go, allow me to also go. So we agree on it right from the beginning. If circumstances change, we have to learn to compromise. What are we compromising? We compromise, okay, there are kids. The kids are so young, you can't be in school now. So let me go to school so I can earn a little more than I am earning now. When the kids are at a certain age, I can't take certain jobs. Or we then probably will have to allow a house help into the house.
Okay.
We are bringing in a house help who may be a female. So you must agree that you are not going to prey on that female.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to prey on that female because this is my time when I need that help. So I can also go to school. I can also take that job. I can also do this. So it is, what are you compromising for? Which is the most important thing.
Okay.
What are you compromising? Are you compromising your... Are you compromising for the kids? But even before I talk about compromising for the kids, a lot of women are struggling because they have no kids. They are crying, attending prayer meetings, and the rest of them. Well, I have a very simple solution. Kids are gifts. There's no shop where they are bought. There's no place where they are manufactured. They are gifts. So we must be willing to live by ourselves until we are gifted the kids. No woman can impregnate herself. And so if the woman has no children, it is our problem. It is not her problem because she can't have the kid. Okay. If the woman can't have the kids because she's not being impregnated by you, are you going to allow her to go out there to get the third party to get pregnant?
Of course not.
Of course not. So why are you giving her the hard time?
Sometimes not even the husband. Sometimes you say that husbands are actually supportive. The in-laws.
The husband is the reason why there are in-laws.
The in-laws would.
So I am a shield for my wife when it comes to my family. She is a shield for me when it comes to her family. So for instance, it's Christmas. I don't have the money to send the regular end of year supplies. She could buy them and take them in my name.
That's true.
She would have shielded me.
Yeah.
My mother thinks that, oh, well, your wife has not been greeting me of late when we meet. Oh, she just developed a hearing problem. I'm very sure she didn't see you. If she had seen you, she would have greeted.
That's true.
Then I go back to her and say, but why did you see the old lady and didn't greet? Maybe she was angry at the time with me and then has taken it up on my mother. Or genuinely, she didn't even see her.
Yeah.
So we need to
Shield
our partners. Hold the brief for the person. Even if you go back and in the spirit of transparency, try to understand what is going on. So we need to become gatekeepers for the relationships we are in. Of course, we are gatekeepers, but we are being transparent. Because transparency is what breeds trust. And without trust, there's no way you can have a relationship.
From the woman's perspective.
So again, shielding. For me, it's one of the things that has kept my marriage. Because again, if you're transparent with each other enough, it's easy to do the shielding.
Okay.
Because like you said, and you know my husband, he's everywhere, all over the place. Once in a while, you'd have a call come through. You have somebody say something. But when you know and you give the right answers, and the realization that, oh, they know what they are about, the third party respects that. Again, if it has to do, so for me, I always say it doesn't matter who the third party is. like he says, you have to find a way of dealing with all the
Yeah.
third parties, in-laws, friends, social partners, whoever. So we have the same circle of friends, not just because we happen to be meet. I think even when we met in school, we had a different, set
Yeah.
of friends. Yeah. But at some point, getting married, I know your
Their
friend.
friends, yeah.
There are people he talks to. I haven't met them physically,
Yeah.
but I virtually know
Them
who
and what
they
the
are, what role
conversations,
they are
yeah.
playing in his life, what discussion is going on, and all of that. As women, we have that intuition when sometimes we see our own fellow ladies or women and we know that something is not right. And that is a part that sometimes the men may lack a bit.
Yeah.
So the woman is hitting on them, but sometimes their mind
They don't
is
know.
not there because that is not what they are looking at. So when you have seen that, there's a way you also have to
Approach it, yeah.
approach it. So again, how are you approaching that? With maturity. For me, some of us have the time. 50% of the work is on our knees. So I don't have time. I don't have time. Where I have the time is what I'm channeling it.
Yeah.
I'll pray the prayer and get the right
Yeah.
intuition to be sure that then you do the needful.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we have to trust. What are we compromising for?
Oh, yeah.
We can only compromise for one thing or the other if that transparency and that
It's
trust is
there.
there. So for me, it's a whole bunch, it's a bouquet thing. It's a whole bunch of flowers. You need to have all the elements
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Yeah.
something can drop somewhere. You drop a ball, you can't juggle the others.
Well, half the time we are asleep. Really, yes. Half the time
Yeah.
the men are asleep. You know that Adam was asleep when Eve showed up.
When the
So
servants
half the
for you.
time.
And Adam wasn't around when Eve ate the apple.
Well, that's the other thing.
Men are always not around.
Not necessarily.
Hey, you sure?
Not necessarily. Well, sometimes we see that, but if Adam was around, maybe the snake would have been killed.
Yes.
And the other thing is that a woman once told me that it's just because Adam didn't have what it took to face the snake that it was Eve. But it's neither here nor there. The point is that most men are not as intentional as people think we are.
Okay.
We usually are naive about something. Like she's saying, there are times when you only notice when things have gotten out of place. So help us, and once we are transparent and we trust each other, speak to us in a way that we'll get to see what is there. More often than not, we should do what is right.
Okay. I want us to go for a break. We'll come back and wrap up. And in wrapping up, I just want to ask two straight questions. What do men need in love and what do women need in love? Do you need respect as men or submission, or you need the pampering, you need the gifts, and you need all of that in love? Let's go for a break. We'll back to wrap up.
Books by Pastor A.L. Fant. They are inspired by the Holy Spirit, simple to comprehend, relevant in application, and so lovely to read. Grab copies like Dynamics of Kingdom Influence, Dynamics of Ministry, Mark is King for Church Workers, Money Matters, and she calls herself a woman. This marriage must work. No more curses. Loaded mouth. Secrets of Kingdom Dominion. The exploits of service. Things fall apart. Church without bleeding pulpit. Singles mingle and many more.
Welcome back. We're still trying to understand what love is all about. I believe we can't do this in one episode. If you watched our first episode last month, we looked at love and finances. What are some of the important questions you should ask your partner before you say I do? If you watch that episode, I believe that there is a connection here. You can go back to our YouTube channel, Martha Inspires, and get most of our videos there. This month of love, we'll be bringing you back-to-back conversations, back-to-back lessons that you and I have to learn to understand and to be in love. Our next episode will be on temperament. What is your temperament? But before that, we are here to understand what love is about before you can know which temperament works for you. From the male perspective, what do you need to be in love?
What do I need to be in love? I need to be respected.
Key.
And the reason I need to be respected is that I spell love. I spell love as RESPECT. Respect. In the male context, I can only love you when I respect you. It is the reason why out of the 3 billion women on earth, I decided to be with you. And I expect you to give back that respect to me. It is in respecting you that it doesn't matter what somebody says out there, I will stick with you. It is in respecting you that I will eat your food and smile at it, even if on that day I do not feel like eating that. It is in respecting you that I will share what I have with you. And so, respect for men is what we see as love. Our stomachs are not they are not soft enough to accommodate the butterflies. So for us, it is a conscious effort, and it's very difficult for a man. They say, "Oh, women is what they hear." For men, it is what we see. And you and I will attest the fact that when we are driving or walking, there are a lot that we see. So it is the respect for you that makes me not act on the things that I see. So when I come home, or when I am with you, when I'm speaking to you, I expect that I get back that respect. And that is why men will say it's not just respect as in you are bowing everywhere. No. It is just that my opinion is valued. When we take decisions, even if I am in the wrong, that you are speaking to me, said that you are reminding me that, okay, but this is what you said. Not that, but you said this and you have done this. No. Can we just get to the place where we respect each other such that I can understand, okay, look, this is what I meant to do. I'm sorry I may have done it this way. I'll try not to do it that way. Because, well, we all fall every now and again, but we strive to be with you. So we spell love as respect. So that is what we need.
Respect. Some would say honor. Women, what do we need?
Okay. I wouldn't say we need anything so far from what the men want. But I guess, again, because we are emotional, we want more of the assurances and commitments and securities that, yes, you did promise me that we're going from point A to B, and so you are living up to your word, and we're getting there. So for women, it's more of the committing to us and committing to what you have said you will do. And of course, we love the attention. It's not that we don't like it too. We love the attention. So a little I love you here, kakwa. A little, sika kakwa. A little kakwa. All of it for us works just fine. And so like he's saying, but at the end of the day, mutual respect is what will bring all of this out into play. There's no way we can compromise on that. Because if my husband tells me I love you, then the next moment
he does something else.
that is like disrespectful. I mean, I don't see it. It doesn't
Yeah.
play out that way. So the mutual respect should be there. But for them, like it says, absolute respect.
Absolutely.
And for us. And I think the issue there that some women have, like he said, when we say respect, I think people are looking at, so we want you to kowtow and bow. No, that's not
That's
the
a
point.
whole. Like sometimes I'm like, when people hear submission, it's like people
And the-
take it out
out
of
of context.
context. Submission doesn't necessarily mean you should be slave.
Yes, and it doesn't mean that you cannot have discussion with your husband, or like he said, you're equals. It doesn't mean you can discuss things or be the friend you are or let things happen. No, you can be all of that, but mutual respect. Because at the end of the day, I say that we work with colleagues, we work with other people, we come into contact with other people. Sometimes people we don't even know, but we
Yeah.
are so, mutual, and we give them
And
that
do you
mutual
think that
respect.
people sometimes take out your personality from outside and think that is how you be in marriage?
Yes.
Because okay,
You see,
Yeah.
the main thing with this respect and love thing, so the Bible says that men love your wives, and women, it says submit to your
Yeah.
husbands. It's the way we grow. It's what we don't have that the Bible is asking us to give. The nature of the roles I play makes it difficult for me to really, as it were, be tender with things and to
Yeah.
be loving and,
I think that's the
and things
word.
like that.
Tender, be the nursing of the home.
So I go out there and I'm dealing with woods and trying to chase animals and trying to hunt, and I'm being reminded to come and love and nurture that part of me that is not in my everyday life. And for the woman, she's always with the kid, she's nurturing, she's finding food. So love comes naturally because she has to get you the food, she has to get the place, that has to make sure that you are comfortable. So love comes naturally.
Yeah.
She also is struggling with the fact that having done all of these things, I mean,
again,
really, for you as the man, I'm giving you the food to eat. I'm making sure that you have a good place to be. I'm making sure you are looking good so naturally you are like my child. And so then for her they say, look, aside doing all of these things, you submit to him. Because really, I mean, the things you are doing to him is as though you are taking him like a child.
Yeah.
You are, sometimes my wife is have you seen my socks?
Yeah.
Now, that really is what my son or a baby should be doing.
Or like, I kept my lace somewhere.
Thank you very much. So it may be difficult for her to then respect the person who she does almost everything for. I have to remember things for you, I have to do this. So they then say, look, you know what? Aside doing all of these things, endeavor to then respect that person.
Okay.
And in your case, because of all of these things, try to love this person so that, as it were, we are playing different roles, but always remember it is a union of equals.
A union of equals. Your final words in 30 seconds. Our time is up. Your final, let me come back to you.
Love equals respect for some people. Love equals being lovey-dovey and submission for some people. But to be together, you must be transparent, which then breeds trust, which then makes you have the happily ever after.
Yeah. Your final words.
So, final words. For me, like I would always end with my final words. The God factor is key for me in there. So you think you're ready to go with Mr. A or Ms. B? Please let God order your steps. You do your praying, you do your checks. Like I always say, for me, even though I knew this is the man, I prayed for particular signs till I got them, 3 of them, before I confirmed. Because I knew
Thanks for the apple.
Because I knew what I had experienced.
Thanks for the apple. Signs.
So for me, that is very important.
Okay.
For every partner, you pray
If
for
you've
the
not
signs.
learned anything in this episode, when you are praying, ask for signs. Ask for signs. Thank you very much for coming. I'll be speaking with Madam Efia Labi and Mr. Daniel Kokruku. I hope I got that correct.
Oh, you did.
They helped us to understand what love is all about. And of course, we went in and out of the topic. But all in all, we had to help ourselves understand that we need to grow and glow, like I would always say. I'll be back with thoughts. Hello and welcome to Thoughts from Martha Inspires. Today I want to have a conversation with you out there, my colleagues, my age mates, young people. We just finished an episode on what love is about, and we established that love means different things to different people. But my appeal is just one. We need to take our time when we think that we've found that person that we like or we love. We need to bridge that generational issues of divorce and breaks up here and there. Because we don't take our time, you see a lot of us having so many exes by the time we're even 25. All because we couldn't take our time to manage some of these feelings and desires and fantasies as we had in us. You see 18, 19-year-old girls, 20-year-old girls posting on their status saying that the better one would kind of like, oh my goodness, where was I when I was 20? At 20 years, you already have about 3 or 4 exes. Some could have been out of mistakes or because you had to feed, you had to sleep with men to get some of these things. Well, that could be fine, even though it is not a reason to declare that it is fine. But my plea to you now is be careful with the kind of relationships you get yourself into. Be careful, because a lot of us are now used to the term baby mamas and baby daddies. Just because at 2021 you have a child for someone, you don't take your time to understand the whole thing about marriage, and from that you are to the different man. Young women especially, we are always at the disadvantaged. If a man has a child, it will take a longer time for it to be known than if you have a child as a young woman. Be careful when you are lusting over someone, when you are in like infatuation or you are even in love. Be careful and slow down. Because love is not just what we see on TV. It's like everything is always rosy. No, I think that love is beyond that. When the challenges comes to hit you, then you will know that maybe you rushed. Please and please, let's take our time while we are falling in love or when we think we found that person, because we can actually reduce a lot of these issues, a lot of this divorce cases, a lot of these things that we can reduce in our generation. We need to start a new kind of generation. You can do it, I can do it. And together we'll build a great and mighty strong army to make sure that the children that we are going to have in the next 50, 30, 40, 100 years from now will be better than we are today. Thank you for watching. My hair and makeup is by Indel's Beauty Salon here in Tamale. Catch us on YouTube with Martha Inspires, Facebook Martha Inspires Foundation. Get in touch with us on WhatsApp or call on 054-9578-512. Thank you for watching. See you next week.